The biggest complaint by the mainstream media and the Biden campaign about the Trump campaign's claim of election fraud has been the lack of evidence. Today, the Trump legal team brought the evidence. Hundreds of sworn affidavits from poll watchers alleging voting irregularities and outright cheating. 220 sworn affidavits from Michigan alone.
Because there's not a singular voter fraud in one state. This pattern repeats itself in a number of states. Almost exactly the same pattern. Why wouldn't you allow inspections of those ballots? Because you knew you were going to use those ballots to catch Biden up.
And Trump attorney Rudy Giuliani took the media to task for its coverage of the story.
You keep reporting falsely that we have no evidence, that we have no specific acts of fraud. That's because the coverage of this has been almost as dishonest as the scheme itself.
Giuliani also announced the Trump campaign has withdrawn its lawsuit in Michigan after achieving the relief it sought to stop the election in Wayne County from being prematurely certified before residents can be assured that every legal vote has been counted and every illegal vote has not been counted. This after two Republican members of the Wayne County Board of Canvassers in Detroit rescinded their votes to certify the election results, saying they were bullied into changing their original votes and that state officials refused to conduct an audit. Giuliani says a major lawsuit over voting irregularities will be filed tomorrow in Georgia, and a suit will also be brought in Arizona, and there will be a recount in Wisconsin. Meanwhile, Joe Biden says the Trump administration continues to bar his team from accessing what he calls crucial coronavirus data for what Joe Biden believes will be his incoming administration.
There's a whole lot of things that we just don't have available to us, which unless it's made available soon, we're going to be behind by weeks or months.
Time is running out for the Trump campaign. By law, court challenges and recounts have to be wrapped up and elections certified before the Electoral College meets on December 14th. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
All right, thank you, Dale. Well, for more on this story, we now turn to David Brody, CBN chief political analyst. David, with what the Trump campaign announced today, what's the likelihood these challenges get wrapped up before that December deadline Dale mentioned in his report? And David, secondly, will it be enough to change the result?
Well, John, here's the truthful answer. We don't know, and that's an answer to both parts of your question. We don't know if it's going to get wrapped up by the 14th or not. And of course, as you imagine, John, here, if it does not get wrapped up by December 14th, and quite frankly, December 8th, that's really the safe harbor date where electors have to be named, then we're into potentially uncharted constitutional territory here, potentially even unconstitutional territory. We don't know exactly what's going to happen. So, look, all bets are off. We just don't know. And that's what the Trump campaign was saying today, that these results have to be certified. And you're not going to certify false results. That's the way they see these results right now.
David, as Dale's reporting shows, the Trump campaign has dropped the lawsuit in Michigan. Your thoughts, though, on how things could turn out there in Michigan since the votes have yet to be certified?
Right. So, I mean, this whole thing in Wayne County is, a complete disaster. First of all, the threats that these two Republicans are getting for first saying they're not going to certify the votes. And then, of course, they had to say, wait, well, we will certify them because basically you're harassing our families. And now, of course, they're saying, OK, you know what, we're not going to certify the results. John, it is a whole big perplexing situation here. I will just say this, that it's going to go to a larger board, a state board of elections. And then remember, the governor will weigh in here, Gretchen Whitmer, who, of course, is a Democrat. So you get the sense that those results most likely somehow, some way will be certified if Gretchen Whitmer has anything to say about it. But once again, I think we're in a wait and see situation here.
Finally, David, what do you make of the charges of voter fraud in several states through voting machines? And of course, you've heard about the allegations of Dominion software. What do you make of all of this?
This is it, John. I mean, this is the ball game right here. I know everybody talks about legal strategy and voting fraud and dead people and uncured ballots. It's all, and unequal protection. It's all part of this. But the main linchpin to all of this is Dominion voting system. I mean, if what Sidney Powell said today turns out to be true, John, we could have a President Donald Trump for a second term. I'm saying if Sidney Powell says what she says is true, and what Jenna Ellis was saying today, what Sidney Powell and Giuliani were saying too, is like, hey, media, you know what? This is the part of the program where we're laying out our opening argument, and we've got to see what the evidence finally shows. So we'll see on Dominion voting systems. But boy, I tell you what, if there are some tie-ins there, I mean, they're saying they've got sworn affidavits from people in Dominion voting systems saying that this system is flawed and wrong, and they've now got to prove it. That's the key,
right.
John.
All right, CBN's David Brody, as always, we appreciate your insights.
You bet.